Hey, this is Cheryl Overby, and I'm a counselor in Omaha, Nebraska. And I just wanted to give you a tidbit of one of the things that I do with almost all my clients that come in with sexual trauma, and that is what I call a token or a coin. So this is basically a wooden nickel that I ordered off the internet, and I have it printed with two different things that's specifically to help people with all sorts of trauma, but I primarily work with sexual abuse. So on the one side, it says it was a really, really bad thing. And that's because there isn't anything good about sexual abuse. And dot, dot, dot. On the other side, it says, I or you or we will be okay. And that's printed on the other side because sexual abuse is something that you can heal from, that you can recover from, that you can go on to have a happy and productive life. I think there's something like 40 million people in America that have been sexually abused, and almost all of them are well-functioning members of society, living and working and having families and loving life. And so it is very possible that sexual abuse is something that you can overcome and go on to have a happy life. At the bottom of the I or you or we will be okay, and dot, dot, dot. It was a really, really bad thing, and dot, dot, dot. I or you will be okay. And so the last word on there, and dot, 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 that's so that you can keep both concepts in your mind at the very same time. That's the thing that's really helpful, is not getting stuck on one side or the other, because both of them are 100% true. It's 100% true that sexual abuse is a really, really bad thing. And it's also true that you will be okay. So people who get stuck on the it was a really, really bad thing, then they sometimes get into something I call a victim stance, where they feel like a victim. They can't trust anyone in the world, can't trust their friends, can't trust that they'll be safe, and they're feeling vulnerable quite a bit of the time because they're really focused on that this bad thing happened to me and I'm not going to be okay. I'm, changed for life, and, there's no recovering from this. And that's not a healthy point of view. And you also don't want to get stuck on the other side of the coin that says, I will be okay. Because sometimes when you are so focused on it was no big deal, I'm just fine, you have to minimize the seriousness of the abuse in order to feel okay. And that's not healthy either. It is possible to be okay, but only with addressing the issues and resolving the trauma is that the time to, that's when it's more likely that you will be okay. So people who get stuck on the I will be okay side tend to minimize how traumatic and how terrible their abuse was, and their bodies know how bad it was because they're not sleeping, having flashbacks, overreacting to things. Maybe they're ultra protective of their children. Maybe they're over sexualized and feel like the only good they have in the world is that they can, provide sex for someone else. Which I had a client tell me once. She was 30 years old and says, she wasn't a prostitute, but she felt like the only worth she had was being sexual with any partner that she had. And so that was not a healthy stance either. So it's very difficult to hold both these things in your mind at the same time. So I put them on a token so that you can feel it, you can stick it in your pocket, you can throw it in the bottom of your purse. I had one client tell me that she was having a rough day and she was digging in her purse for her keys, and she came out with this instead and felt like that was, really important to her because she was feeling one side of the coin, and it helped her remember the other side of the coin, which kind of gave her a little bit more hope in that moment. So again, the coin says I or you or we, depending if you're referring to yourself or someone else or family members or partners, will be okay, and dot, dot, dot. It was a really, really bad thing, and you will be okay. And it was a really, really bad thing. And you're going to be okay. So whatever side of the coin you're on, I hope you can remember the other side so that you can go on to have a productive and happy life. And that's just a little tidbit from me, Cheryl Overby. I have a personal website at cheryloverby.com. If you want to go on there, you can find some more articles specifically from me. I also have a Cheryl Overby Counseling Facebook page, which I just post things that I find on Facebook, fun quotes and stories and other things like that. So some people like those as well. So have a good day. Thanks.